doing here is trying to tease out the roots a little bit and break them up a little bit so that they don't continue to, when you get them out of the bucket a lot of times, especially a tree this size, a 15 or a 30 gallon, the roots have often started to somewhat circle around following the pattern of the bucket, and ultimately that can strangle the tree, what we call girdling. So it's particularly important with trees to try to unwrap those roots just a little bit, tease them out gently, almost like you'd untangle your hair. They start to come for you. And just generally, especially on the bottom, make sure that some of the roots are headed down instead of just wrapping around themselves. And now you're ready to plant. And here we have our prepared backfill for planting the tree. It's going to be a 50-50 mix of whatever native soil you took out of the hole and compost of your choice. Today we are using Happy Frog soil conditioner compost. It's a really nutrient-dense compost, really finished compost, and Japanese maples really like a humus-rich soil, so we're going to be using that today. We are also going to mix our inoculant, or beneficial mycorrhiza, beneficial fungus, at 2 cups per about 100 square feet into this mixture before we backfill. We'll also today be putting in a little bit of green sand since our site has a lot of clay and we want some drainage. You can also just top dress with green sand and get all those good benefits from it, but we do want the added drainage component for our backfill today. So I just eyeball it, really, looking at about a little under 2 cups for something this size. And then we are also going to go ahead and add just a couple handfuls of our green sand, Texas green sand. This is a really fantastic treatment for trees. Perfect. All right, give this a little bit of a mix, and we are ready to plant. All right, so here you can see that we have gone ahead and positioned our tree into the pre-dug hole to be backfilled. A couple key things at this stage. Firstly, you want to dig your hole about 2 to 3 times as wide as the diameter of your root ball that you are planting. We typically want to give lots of width to these holes, but no depth, and we'll talk about that right now. No greater depth than your root ball. The reason we go wide is to give them lots of room to expand their roots sideways, which is actually how most root structures grow. Here we were a little bit limited by existing oak roots as well as irrigation pipeline. So we weren't able to get quite twice as wide as our root ball here, but we did do our best to get a good, wide, and square hole. By not creating a round hole, we again prevent the girdling we were talking about earlier. The roots are able to puncture those square walls when they hit them, rather than simply continuing to circle around a round hole. The other thing that we want to talk about right now is root ball depth. You want that root ball at or above the grade of the soil around it. We do not ever want it any lower. That's going to be poor drainage and poor root establishment for the tree. So we want to plant high, never die. And that's particularly important for trees. So we just have measured off our root ball here, and we are at or above grade on all sides. We've also chosen the most attractive face or side of our tree and positioned it facing out the direction we want. Those things can be hard to adjust once you start to backfill. So once you've made sure that your root ball is at the right grade and level, and that your tree is straight and facing the direction you want, we're ready to backfill. light on our last mix. So we have scooped up some more of our native backfill soil and mixed in some more compost, and we are now backfilling our hole. I did briefly want to talk about acidity and pH. Our pH here in the hill country is extremely high, very alkaline is what they call it, something like 9 in our water and soil. And most plants really do not like that pH, even plants that are okay with alkaline soil. So what we've got here is an acidified cottonburr compost. You can never really change the chemistry of soil on site, in my opinion, but you can help to lower that pH marginally for about 6 months at a time. So we do often use an acidified fertilizer, as well as an acidified cottonburr compost, or even a straight sulfur amendment sometimes in order to acidify the soil.